Another issue is the stiffness and tension on the two-handed backhand. So coaches don't teach the two-hander like Jimmy Connors or Chris Evert used to hit it. You know, the two-hander, it hasn't changed as much in the last, like if you look at the way the forehand technique has evolved since, if you go decade by decade, from the 70s, 80s, 90s to now, the forehand technique and like stances has those things have evolved tremendously, and you can see the way the technique has evolved, and we should teach that to young kids. Don't teach them the old way, teach them the new way. And then with the backhand, there's been a lot of evolution, but it's not as much as the forehand and not as dramatic. So in the backhand, the two-handed backhand, the main evolution has been like the lag and snap of the wrists, what the wrists are doing. If you have to look at it in high-speed video in slow motion, so you can see that the way the wrists are very relaxed and the way the wrists are basically flipping, as Rick Macy describes it. I'm a big Rick Macy fan, by the way. I studied with Rick, and I think he's fantastic. So he's a legend. And basically, the way the wrists have to be, they make like a little flip or like a little circle, little lag and snap, whatever you want to call it. That should be happening on the two-handed backhand. And again, I would probably say 90% of the kids that I see, that they are not using their wrist, for lack of a better way to describe it, properly. They're not generating very much topspin so they're not dropping the racket head at the right moment, and they're not making that little circle, that flip with the wrist on the two-handed backhand, and so the backhand looks tight, cramped, and not fluid, like lacking fluidity, and lacking whip. So it looks kind of like, instead of getting a blur when they swing, the backhand looks sort of like you can see the outline of the racket and the arms working. My mentor in Spain, Luis Bruguer, would say it looks the same speed. Like the backhand, when they're hitting it, it's kind of like the same speed, rather than changing speeds and getting a good acceleration, a good buildup of speed and whip in the racket head. The racket head is kind of looks kind of like the same speed throughout the swing, or it's slow motion, but it comes from the stiffness, the stiffness of the arms. And that, to me, on the two-hander is the biggest problem that I see.